Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Mecca of track and field in the USA, indoors that is, the Armory in Washington Heights, New York. Welcome. It's been a spectacular 2 days, 2.5 days to be precise, of this National Scholastic Athletics Foundation production of the New Balance National Indoor Championships. You've seen some national records, and assuredly this afternoon you'll see even more. Without further ado, I would ask you to rise from your seats for a performance of the national anthem. Remove your hats kindly. Please rise. As I said moments ago, we've had some spectacular performances from some of the great high school athletes of this nation, and assuredly there are so many. But as we pause to reflect on these performances, I would say to you all the parents, the grandparents and the coaches that have been here this weekend, thank you very much. Give yourselves a big round of applause, because you are the mainstay of this and every other event that takes place in this great nation. The National Scholastic Athletics Foundation was formed quite a few years ago, and just recently we lost one of its founding members, Mike Byrnes. The program cover reflects his wonderful contribution to the sport over so many years, both as a coach, as an administrator, and as a meet director. And I would urge you to read the notes in the program, which is so evocative of Mike Byrnes' career. We have some special guests with us today to honor Mike Byrnes, including his wonderful wife, Mrs. Joan Byrnes. Behind every successful man, there's one woman. It was Joan, assuredly. So many others worked with Mike over the years. Retired Navy Captain Gordon Peterson, right next to Joan. He wrote that wonderful piece in the program. Here with his wife, Diana. Oh, there's Diana. Kevin Toomey. Gosh, I haven't seen him in, what, 20 years? He remembers when the Army was bought. He hasn't seen it since. Retired Army Colonel Ken Jackard. Ted Bellis. Frank Brown. Jack Rose, Therese Devlin Brown, and Paul Fletcher. And many thanks again to Gordon, who contributed so much to this tribute, which we're about to see on our screen. And then I'll throw it to David Mitchell.
Coach Mike Byrnes passed away in December. He was a man of many talents, an athlete, coach, teacher, writer, and a pioneer in scholastic track and field. Throughout his life, Mike's quest was to increase opportunities for high school and junior athletes to compete nationally and internationally. This weekend's Indoor Nationals testifies to his vision and steadfast commitment to make it a reality. A top high school miler himself, Mike captained the cross-country team at the University of Virginia, where he earned a master's degree in education. Above all else, however, Mike wanted to be a coach. Mike found an outlet during his Army service. In addition to his military duties at Fort Bragg, he coached and competed on his battalion's football, basketball, and track teams. In 1957, Mike began coaching at Long Island's Wantagh High School. His athletes and teams soon became formidable competitors. Mike inspired self-confidence and self-motivation. Two of his high school athletes were later U.S. Olympians. Mike was also the only high school track coach selected for Team USA in the 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City. During the 1980s, Mike established teams for Wanta's talented women athletes. They were also soon setting records at the state and national level. After forming the Long Island Striders in 1963, Mike and Jim Spear established a meet of champions on Long Island in the 1970s for high school and college athletes. With Tracy Sunland in the 1980s, Mike and Jim staged the first national high school indoor track meet that offered travel reimbursement for athletes. The National Scholastic Indoor Track and Field Championship was born. In 1990, Mike and Jim created what is now the National Scholastic Athletics Foundation. A year later, they co-directed the first National High School Outdoor Track and Field Championship. Assisted by their wives, Joan and Berna, Mike and Jim expanded the Foundation's Outdoor Championship year by year. The indoor and outdoor meets they pioneered continue today with the generous support of New Balance and other sponsors. About 500 athletes competed in the first outdoor championship in 1991. Now each year, more than 10,000 athletes from across the country compete in the Foundation's track and field and cross-country events. Mike also supported the Foundation's efforts to expand competition internationally through the Caribbean Scholastic Invitational, which began in Puerto Rico and moved to Cuba in 2015. Mike coached world-class athletes well into his retirement. His dedication to our nation's high school and junior track and field athletes never diminished. Mike Byrnes, a coach, friend, and mentor to thousands of young men and women during a distinguished career that spanned more than 6 decades. True to his vision, the foundation he and Jim Spear co-founded has helped to develop high school track and field to the highest level. The legacy of Mike Byrnes will endure.